Hi, welcome to Adults University, where we take adult shit and cut in kid-sized pieces. My name is Miss A, and this would be the first episode of Adults University State of Emergency, entitled The Root of the Issue. Prior to the pandemic, we thought, or there was to say, two types of people in this world: the leaders and the followers. Now, we thought we left high school, or at least most of us thought we left high school in high school. But I believe the pandemic really, like I said, revealed the people behind the curtains, right? This whole facade of the world being a stage. But now we get to see who really are the puppets, who really have their hands up you know where, and the levers that help give the illusion that we have all bought into in terms of what we deemed was normal versus not normal versus what is considered the new normal now and is throwing us for a loop because it looks nothing at all of what was normal. And this new normal is built on a lot of false advertisements, disingenuous intentions, and morality. So let's go back to this whole idea of high school. This will help you understand my train of thought. In high school, we have the leaders and the followers, the popular kids and the people who are not popular, right? And it would seem like there's the inner core group of popular kids, and then there are the flunkies around them, right? Who are only popular by way of association to the people in the popular group, right? And then one would probably think, oh, those are the followers. But for the sake of making a streamlined thread of thought, I want you to consider those people around the popular people popular too. So those are the leaders, right? And the followers being those who wish to be a part of that group. So you have the people who are leaders by way of the association that they have to the inner group. And then because the people on the outside want to be on the inside, let's say that those people in the inner group use those people who support the popularity of the inner group to essentially entice those in the other group to want to be in the inner group, right? So that is by way of sheer soliciting, and also by way of suggesting, right? In today's adulting world, fast forwarding to today's adulting world, I would say that we have people who are in the inner group. We're talking about people who are very, very high up there with money and influence that we don't even see on TV, to the people that are in government, to the people who are on your televisions and on your movie screens, who are considered part of the inner group only by way of their dedication to get you to follow the innermost crowd's desires. And that is why you see a lot of, I think, celebrities particularly endorsing a lot of things that seem popular, a trend. This goes to cultural standards, to perception, to just about anything. If you look at all your favorite celebrities and note what their causes are, you'll know what the inner group wants you to think. what they want you to feel. And if you are supposedly an activist in today's generation, then you have been indoctrinized to whatever it is that the innermost group has gotten the outermost group of leaders to get you to follow. Does that make sense? Prior to the pandemic, people who wanted to be on the inside used to take pictures of a hairstyle or basically a body type to a surgeon or to a hairdresser, whichever example, right, that rocks your world. They used to go to a professional and say, I want to look like this person. Now help me look like that person, right? But when things were shut down and a lot of things that kept us distracted and moving in this world, basically, were taken away, the closest way for someone to feel like they were still a part of that crowd was to become an activist. But the activism that people are portraying today is self-righteous indignation based off of false morality, based off of the agenda of the people on the most inner side of the leader crowd. So thus, a lot of sleepwalking woke people, from the mildest to the mildest could be that they don't see borders necessary to ensure the rights and safety of those people within the country that we live in, to those who think that guilt should be attributed to anybody who just happened to be born of a certain skin color because, hey, that's what you have to do to fit in this day and age. To those who think that love, quote unquote, love is ruining people's lives on the internet to score one for the social justice warrior type, when nobody in this life is perfect. And as long as you can do the pointing, you can never ever have someone pointing at you. But it all is a funhouse mirror effect, because there's this infinity mirror that is coming back and saying, where have you never done wrong, And so a lot of people, like I said, became activists, still rock activism, supposedly, right? But true activism comes from within. It doesn't get advertised when you're in the right crowd, right? It shouldn't be because you walked with a bunch of black people to fight racism that you believe that Black Lives Matter. Black lives should matter when you see or know of a way to help within your community to better, let's say, a black family's life that might be struggling, right? That's true activism that doesn't need applause or recognition of any kind from the outside world. That's true activism, quote unquote, on the inside world. It's forgiving somebody who may have done you wrong, because you know what? No one's perfect. And sometimes those people who do wrong, they don't ask to be forgiven. But we all know that not forgiving people leads to a lot of baggage, or you feeling yourself so much where your humanity begins and ends, because all you see yourself as the judge, juror, and executor to anything that comes across your mind. And this is the world that we see having emerged, that people can say, oh, I hate racism, to a point where they literally have become racist, where they literally don't understand that you're hating racism so much, which we should all dislike the idea of judging people by the color of their skin or anything like that, is exactly two sides of the same coin if you're not careful on how you use your humanity. Basically, how do you use your humanity? There's a lot of things that are going on in this world that I would say world, right? But then let me get specific, America, that does not promote humanity. Going back to the leaders and the followers, I've come to realize that a lot of people live on the surface of their humanity. They say beauty is, from the inside, and true character comes from the inside. So, but they look to all these things that are very surface to define their humanity so as to feel good about themselves. So they don't dig anymore, they don't ask any more questions, they don't process what people are telling them to do or how to think. And I'm saying, that's not life. That's not life. Living on the surface of your humanity is to deny your maker, Jesus, and his character, which is the spirit of love. The spirit of love is the way of redemption. It's the way of humanity. Whole summarization of humanity is the story of redemption. And so when people become judge, jury, and executor to other people's lives online, or by way of calling up their job and making them unable to eat because they simply disagree with one thing or an action that someone has done, whether they have said they're sorry or not, then we are acting as dictators to each other. And that's not what humanity is supposed to be about. And that is why the things of today the things that are going on today in this world, especially when it comes to certain things that are making people lose their jobs, is not right. What I've come to understand between the leaders and the followers that this whole analogy I've been giving, is that the leaders want to reshape this world into a man-made Eden. And the followers just want to be considered nice. They're nice, or they're good human beings, so they follow what the leaders say. The leaders are leading us, quote unquote, into a man-made Eden that is a mirage, has no resemblance to the Eden that Father God Almighty made, and is therefore going to be a destructive version of humanity, to say the least. So you've got the man-made Eden makers, or the MEMs, right? And that includes those from the inner to the outermost leader crowd. And then you've got the followers, the people who want to be good people or nice people, who want to feel attached to the innermost crowd, believing that they have been justified through this false morality of, we're doing this for the greater good. If you've heard that, all that kind of nonsense. If you don't ever recognize someone else's humanity, if you look to overrule their humanity by pushing your way onto them, whether you are in governance or you are the person next door, then you're really no better than the people of the past in the history that we have looked at and said, no, they did wrong. And you're only bound to repeat history. Don't let the MEMs play you. Don't let them falsify what humanity really is and should be. Because before you know it, the things you hate are the things that you become. You must choose who you want to be and how you contribute to humanity. And that should never be off of what other people say or do, but truly what is deep down right. And the only way to understand that is to get with Jesus. So until next time, remember, you must be this tall to pay bills.